Okay, for question number 2, I'm asking you to provide the dependency test for qualifying child and for qualifying relative. For qualifying child and qualifying relative. Let's do qualifying relative first. But before we go over these tests, there's 2 requirements that must be met under both set of rules. What are they?
Support.
Not the support. Resident of the United States, resident or citizen of the United States, Canada, or Mexico, and what else?
100% live with you, full year.
No, not that. It cannot file Mary Fonnie joint return. Again, the 2 rules that must be met under both qualifying child and qualifying relative.
Okay.
The citizen and residency test of the United States, Canada, or Mexico, and they cannot file Mary Fonnie joint return. All right, so let's do the test for qualifying child. What are the tests for qualifying child?
Rash.
Yeah, when you think of a child, think of a rash.
Yeah.
Well, those of you who have kids can appreciate the humor in that. It is sort of like a rash. They're hard to get rid of, right?
Yeah.
They're irritating. Yeah, that's all I can say about that one. All right, so think of a rash. What's the R for?
Relationship.
Yeah, relationship. That person has to be related to you by blood. Cousins are not considered related to you. So we're talking about your son, your daughter, siblings even count as well. So they have to be related to you. What's the A for?
Age.
Age, which is,
Under 19 or under 24 full-time students.
yeah, or under 24 and full-time student. So again, under the age test, if the dependent is under 19 and meets the other test, it qualifies as a dependent, or under 24 and a full-time student. So that's for the college students. And what's the S for?
Support.
Self-support, not support. Self-support. So it's the dependent does not provide more than 50% of his or her own support. So again, it's the dependent that does not support himself or herself. And what's the H for? Home test. That dependent must live with you for more than 6 months. There are some temporary absences rules that apply if they're away at college or in the military that qualifies as a temporary absence. All right, so those are the tests for qualifying child. Now we need the test for qualifying relative. So on the qualifying relative, what are the rules for qualifying relative? Number 1.
Income.
Gross income. Gross income has to be less than 4,000, or again, whatever the exemption amount is. For 2016, the exemption amount is 4,050. So the gross income has to be less than whatever the gross amount, whatever the exemption amount is for that given year. What's the next test? Support. The support, here's where the taxpayer provides, I'm going to put TP, provides more than 50%. So this is the support test where the taxpayer provides more than 50% of the support. So we got gross income, support test, and what's the third test?
What's the whole full year?
Relationship, right? Again, same relationships as before. Again, cousins do not count. Relationship or member of household for the whole year. So again, I said cousins are not considered related to you under tax purposes, but you can claim your cousin on the qualifying relative test, gross income test, support test, and your cousin has to live with you for the whole year. What about your significant other? Your significant other, again, as long as they meet these tests, gross income is less than 4,050, you provide more than 50% of support, and then remember the household for the whole year, you can claim your significant other as a dependent. You can claim a freeloading friend as a dependent. Well, you can.